Hi everybody, it's Honest John. Now, I started doing comedy in 1987, a little over 26 years ago. I had written only a few jokes and they weren't that good, but I was fanatical about it. I ran around to open mics every night, often doing 2 or 3 a night. I wrote almost constantly, trying out lots of jokes. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. I actually write fewer jokes now, but they're a lot better than the ones I wrote then. During this time, I made a lot of new friends, and some of them were black comics. And they invited me to come out to a different circuit than what I was on in the mainstream clubs. They invited me to come down to some urban clubs and try my luck there. Now, we were friends, but they didn't do that just out of friendship, because they were friends with other white comics that they didn't invite to come down to those clubs. They invited me down there because they thought that I would do well in an urban comedy club. While their other friends, they weren't that confident about them. And I didn't realize it at the time, but this was a pivotal moment in my life. I went down to those clubs and I did very well. I mean, not every time. I was new and young and had a lot to learn, but in general I did really well. And as my reputation spread, I got more opportunities. I would show up at a club, and since I was a newbie, there was no guarantee that I would be getting on stage, but people in the audience would see me there and they'd go, oh, man, are you getting up? And I would go, well, I don't know, you know, because there's no guarantee when you're a newbie. And they'd go up to the owner of the club or the manager and go, hey, put the white boy up. Then in 1991, the producers of Comic View, which was BET's first stand-up comedy show, and it's for a long time it's a #1 rated show, they told me that I was going to be on the show that season. And I was like psyched. I was incredibly excited about it. But a couple of days before the show was going to air, I got a call. They told me they were sorry, but they had decided not to have me on the show that year. And I was fucking crushed. I was disappointed, depressed. I even thought about quitting comedy for a while. But I kept on, and 2 years later, I made my TV debut on Comic View, and I crushed it. And I made multiple appearances on that show in the next 2 or 3 seasons. I think next 3 seasons. And my reputation spread, and so naturally this led to auditions for the Def Comedy Jam show. And at that audition, the audience loved me. But Bob Sumner, who's a legend in the comedy game, he was not impressed, and he let me know it. And I didn't get chosen, and once again I was very disappointed. But a couple of years later, there was a comedy competition that I won. And one of the prizes for winning that competition was that I got to open for the Def Jam Tour show when it made its Los Angeles appearance at Universal Amphitheater. That was a hell of a thrill. And I opened up that show, and once again, I crushed. And in 1997, I made my appearance on Def Comedy Jam, and I crushed that too. 3 standing ovations in a 7-minute set. It wasn't long after that that I quit my day job, which was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, and became a full-time comic. And I've had ups and downs and lots of struggles, but somehow I've managed to keep the bills paid, and make a living doing what I love to do. And by the way, Bob Sumner, who wasn't impressed with me the first time that he saw me, now he's part of my management team. Now, it's taken me a while to get to this, but this is the main point of this particular video. Both with Comic View and with Def Jam, I was very bummed out about not being chosen when I thought I should have been. But in the time that passed, I became a much better comic. So that when I finally did get my opportunity, I crushed. But supposing I had gotten those opportunities when I originally went for them, when I really wanted them. Suppose I had appeared on either one or both of those shows the first time I went after them. I wouldn't have been as good a comic as I was when I finally got them. I might have done okay, but I might have fucking died. Who knows what my career might be? I might have wound up back in my day job. It's better to get things a little late than a little too soon. It's better to be past ready than almost ready. Now, if you've been watching my videos lately, you know that I've been working on some on a project. It's Russell Simmons, who is another legend in the comedy game. And in the film and everything. I mean, he's in everything, right? A legend. And during the shoot that we were doing, I got a call from him, and he told me that he should have gotten involved with me sooner, but that they really liked what I was doing, and that he had plans to use me more in projects that he has coming up in the future. Now that's really exciting news. And he even apologized for not getting involved with me sooner, and I'm very flattered and all that, but I think it's all right, because even though I have waited a long time for this, I'm not just ready. I'm past ready. Thanks for listening.